as Lauris already mentioned, that you read a book. Some of it is real history. There's a werewolf story about the old T.S. There's a book about him, and you read this book. So what is the real legend, and what from the book made you realize that this could be this interesting, fantastical film?
Okay, not really a book. This case was read by Ivo. What I did and my idea about werewolves, it came, I was studying in New York in 2010, and I was in a bookstore, Strand bookstore, just going through books, $1, $2, $3 books, and very interesting stuff. And suddenly there's a book called Beast Within by Douglas Adams. And at that moment I thought that it's a Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy guy, but it's Adam Douglas, and this is Douglas Adams. It's two different authors. One's from States and one is from UK. And so I look at this book and I start to go through it, and suddenly there's a big passage, Livonian werewolves. And I start to read, and Douglas Adams writes about a different perspective of werewolf mythology that comes from Livonia. Used to be Estonia and Latvia together under the German rule. And what he said, that the myth of what we know today about werewolves, like, is from southern France and Switzerland, that's been adapted by Hollywood and made a worldwide franchise. And everybody knows the myth of full moon, shape-shifting. But in Livonia, there's different kind of werewolf, more connected to paganism, more connected to shamanism, like some kind of weird rituals happening sometimes of the year that we know as a midsummer celebration or midwinter celebration. It's a different myth, and it was very interesting to me that I read it and like, wow, this. At that time I thought it's a Hitchhiker's guy, and he's writing about my history, but I have no knowledge of that. That was my connection to the story. And then Ivo came with a script.
Yeah, and Ivo came to us. We made Baltic Tribes, Last Pagans of Europe. He came after this film, said, maybe guys you can do this, my project. By the way, you have some possibility in this Baltic Tribes, Last Pagans of Europe. We made a big part about Estonians. No Estonian TV, even we tried to give it for free, took it. It's a good movie, quite quality. We love Estonians. We made Estonians super fierce pagans that eat Christians. Somehow didn't work, I don't know why. But Ivo can tell about his inspiration, because he's the main scriptwriter.
Yeah, excellent. Please.
One from the audience already mentioned this court case. This is what I got interested in. I read some material, articles from the trial, which took place in 1692, simultaneously actually with Salem trial in America. And the protocol was at the same time quite serious, because the man really stole this trial, attracted all attention to himself, because actually it was about something else, and at the same time very funny. What he said was really attractive things, and I was curious about this character, and so some story emerged from this interest. And my initial story was, of course, a bit different, more focused on the relationship between priest and his son, and around this the last straw. It's of course genuine invention, this sort of relic from the hut where Jesus was born. And the rest, I mean, this stuff with the devil's balls and parrot, it's added value by Harry and the brother. That's short story. Yeah.
There's so much crazy hallucinogenic imagery in this film. Like even at the beginning in the church, there's a magic mushroom on the mural, which seems so un-Christian, and later the magic mushroom comes to play so many different animals.
It's actually very Christian because there's a big series actually by one Vatican historian. He was then disbanded from Vatican, but he had ideas that Jesus was a mushroom, Amanita muscaria. And also, as we have connection with Hinduism, the soma drink could be magic mushroom. So it's a very religious thing, and there's a theory that God left those mushrooms for us to find a way back to Him.
And what about all the animals? I mean, even the scorpion on the dog of God's chest, also birds, horses, there's all kinds of animals.
It's a crab. It was in Ivo's original script. We had a backstory for a werewolf, and it's a symbol of Duchy of Kurland. And under the Duchy of Kurland, Latvia tried to colonize Trinidad and Tobago. Didn't go very well. Dutch took us over, but it was possible. The idea that when you read academics' books about the werewolf, that there's one theory, because it's very connected with the Benandanti spirit workers in Italy, and the same that witches are, as in our mythology, and probably in same in Livonia and in Estonia, witches are red butterflies, werewolves can be good or bad. In Benandanti, and then fight with devils and witches with brooms and sticks. So it's the same in Benandanti, they're just not werewolves but spirit walkers.
In Italy.
In Italy, yeah. Benandanti, it's in Friuli region, northern Italy. And academics say it's impossible that this guy Thies could say exactly like the same tradition. And it's not just one case, many cases in Latvia, that it should be connected. An American anthropologist, Bruce Lincoln, he says it's just, he was a trickster, probably traveled around, heard some stories, but it's not just one case, there's many cases in Latvia. And Ivo had the stories that he was actually...
he took part in that crusade,
Yeah.
the colonization of Tobago. He was one of those, and he, according to my story, of course, he spent some 30 years there as a prisoner of Caribbeans, and then he got back. So this story was left, not included in our story, just the symbols, naval symbol of Duchy of Courland remained.
But everything in the village, they are just historical archetypes, right? That you made up for the film.
Yeah, Haris can answer. One thing what we wanted, we don't want to explain symbolism, but one question we asked, can those events that happened back in the day, those archetypes, and it was an original Ivo script also, even more, can it happen today? But about the whole characters, yeah.
So many different characters, so it would be interesting to hear how Haris can.
And Haris had an interesting time, let's say, when we did casting, and this is animation, sorry, with real actors. So everything is recorded on set, we shot it on blue screen, but Haris was one who, when we had casting, he quickly tried to draw the person, and he can tell more about who person is good for animation and which one is not.
Yeah, rotoscoping is, it's kind of easy, it's kind of cheating of animation, but if you had some characters with beards and fluffy hair, it's more like hard work, and every time when it comes to the shadow,
Like Baron.
the Baron, yeah, to draw the Baron, I have this headaches again, this Baron with this fluffy hair, with this beard, and I hate this character. It's so hard to draw. Why would I choose him? But when we casting him, his beard was not so. Then he asked. He comes to the set, and I see. Oh man, this great beard, but I see problems with afterwards.
And we asked him to shave. He said
You
no.
asked? He asked
He
no.
said, no,
And
no,
then when filming is finished, I see him 2 months later, he's shaved his beard. I said, okay, nice looking. Yeah,
But for a year you have to draw him.
I really hate this character.
Wait, regarding rotoscoping, can the actors just show up in like a t-shirt, or do they have to wear like a historical costume of some sort?
We have a costume
Yeah,
designer
just,
there.
yeah. So
Liga?
yeah,
Costume designer.
Costume designer for animation, and we worked with Liga on Baltic tribes where everything had to be authentic, you know, the materials. And now it just had to look authentic, but it was interesting working on animation with costume designer.
And actually, it was a pretty huge pre-production in order to save resources on animation. We really had all the costumes, all the clothes, even to the smallest detail, even the cross on priest's robe. It was already in the costume, because we had a lead animator who hated characters, but still
He
had
had problems with beards already.
with beards already. But and we had Lauris is a teacher in art school, and we had lots of students working on the film. So in order to ease their job, we needed to be very precise on the visual. So they can copy what's seen in the original footage that's shot on with the smallest details. So they don't have to come up with, and it was very good experience for them, as the students did learn a lot of how the animation works, but we had to be very precise in giving details and not needing hurries to intervene in every little place where something needs to be added. So Liga had to do her job, like the colors. What we did change, we changed the colors, because we played with colors in opposite way. Background is blue, so sometimes the robe is red, and sometimes yellow. That is not actually portrayed with the colors that Harris drew. But preciseness of costumes and historical accuracy, that's all costume designers' jobs that she did.
I think I remember that you mentioned that you found some old sex toys as well from the.
That was Laura's job. They told me, like the Baron, he has a cabinet of curiosities, like you have in Kadiorgu. We went yesterday there. It's also a cabinet of curiosities with some weird mermaids and cool exposition. We felt like we were in Baron's room. And but the Baron, he has this problem that he had. So guys told me to do a research of ancient sex toys. Actually, it was quite interesting, and I posted it on Facebook, and I got banned from Facebook for some time of posting that it was historical information, but Facebook didn't like it.
With the sex toys, we'll move to the audience. Do you have any questions for the filmmakers? Raise your hand. Yes, please.
You mentioned this book by Douglas Adams and Benintendi. Is there a book about Benintendi, and were there any other historical material books?
Yeah, I would suggest a book. The name of the book is Old Teas, and it's by Ginsburg and Bruce Lincoln. Alan Ginsburg. We edited it more or less, so the dialogues work and dramaturgy. But then my brother, the co-director, but also I would say this CGI logistic guy, because we have animator, Harry did rotoscope, but Wright was the one who really understood how to transfer everything. He can, like in short, it's very technical, super technical, and actually, as Wright said, super boring, because you have to just like do technical stuff, nothing creative, but someone.
We shot everything on blue screen, like really like Hollywood films. They film it on
Superman films.
films. They film it on green screen. We chose blue because our friend's studio went bankrupt, and we could buy that blue screen from them. Then all the props, all the knives, all the tables, all everything what actors were holding was real props, but painted red. And applause to Zanda, who is a prop master here. And a set designer, her job was to, because that's the opposite color of blue, so for animators it's easy to recognize what this prop is. And then what we did did cut out all the blue stuff, so we have the characters with the red props. In program Blender, we made a background, the environments, and we did put those characters inside, like in a perspective. In a church, we put somebody, the priest here, that here. We arrange everything, edit all the film as it could look. If we are okay with it, then we give it to Haris. This character, and he draws everything. Also, we give him a background, just a perspective. But because otherwise he would go mad if we wouldn't have Blender as a help. Just drawing background like this, and then maybe 32 angles here, maybe 22 degrees lower. Every animator would go just crazy. That we did, and then we receive it all back, and then we give it to the compositing artist who composites it back. So I had this privilege of having the really raw material from the filming with the blue screen, and then in the end receiving back the final material, and just like a bricks in a wall, just putting. Now it's here, and it was one of the most pleasant moments. Assembling it all, just this whole thing was very, as Laura said, not very creative, but it was necessary. But when getting it back, it was very satisfying.
So no one actually had to lick a cat's butt out. It was just a prop.
That was a green something.
And that came very late because we had this scene of a cat picking up a cat. It wasn't not intended, and then like we were at our compositor's house and we looked at this scene. It has no impact. Like it's
Because it was
the joke, not a joke, but it comes from our folk tales. And when Latvians want to say "fuck you," they in countryside old folk people did say "go and lick cat's ass" or
Kiss
cat's ass. That's a country folk saying. So we wanted literally to bring it to visual
On the big screen.
On the big screen, like as big as this. And then when we saw, like, look at the final footage, it's no impact. So basically, what we did is we printed out at a compositor's house a green
Little
page.
paper.
I put it here. I was standing like here with my tongue. Filmed my just close up with iPhone. My tongue had that
Cut
shot. Cut it out. Sent to Haris, and then there's this scene that in every audience it has some kind of reaction because nobody wants to see it. Even when I received the footage back, like, what the fuck? But okay.
Any other questions from the audience? Yes, please.
So first of all, guys, great bling. We are blinded.
we made it for New York. It worked really.
Very many quotes, starting from Monty Python through Crocodile Dundee and even the Soviet show about animals. Thank you for all that. But I think that like people in Estonia would not recognize the ex-prime minister as the werewolf in this movie.
Yeah.
I think you have some interesting stories about the casting.
Yeah, when we did the casting, we couldn't find the werewolf. We wanted to try one like one Latvian iconic actor, but he maybe was not in like the shape we needed for the film, and we wanted someone who looks kind of
Out of this world.
out of this world and could look like a werewolf. And the main werewolf is Einar Repše. He was when Soviet Union collapsed. We had this Latvian weird money before we restored our original money, Lats, and now we have euros, but we had our own currency. But then it was called like Repšik, like little paper weird money. Did you had something like in Estonia? I don't know, but probably even you came to Riga, you had to use.
No, it was the first Latvian ruble,
Yeah.
and a Latvian bank president did sign it, and his name was Einar Repše. So everybody called this ruble because nobody wanted to call it ruble, so they call it Repše money. And Repšik. and now we have the president, and then later this Einar Repše became not only the president of Latvian bank, he became a prime minister. And now he's a werewolf in our film. So when we told our parents, they were like, what the, like really, what the fuck?
It was not just we told our parents. We did the first casting, and he came all out, and we made good friends with him. But he's all in his costume, and he said, "Oh," and we thought about the shaman, old weirdo trickster type, and he said, "Oh, I thought that I'm gonna be a hero," and we said, "No, it's something else. It's like the old weirdo man." So
He didn't like that idea.
He didn't like that idea, and then at one point, right, said, "Hey, Einar, can you take your clothes off? Leave your trousers." And he said, "Why? Because it will be more primal." And in our studio, so he said, "Okay, no, ladies." He took the shirt off, and next thing we were all howling like wolves on 4 feet. And I sent this video right to our parents, and then they said, "What the fuck?"
I think there was one more question up there somewhere, I think. Nope.
I mean, how long it took to work?
I wouldn't say like Ivo wrote the script back in the day.
Long time ago.
So when we tried to develop it as a live action film, but let's say from the first day of shooting, that happened in June of 2023, and we finished it with sound this year and premiered in Tribeca, New York in 6th of June. So overall, like 3 years, yeah.
Okay, so last question. There was a recipe for an 18th century ale in the end credits. Have you tried it, and would you recommend?
Harry's put it, but when we worked, the film all was done in animatic before because we had to shoot everything super precisely. We worked during the day. Wright is brought from, with our previous film, he was in Nepal, he brought some mad honey, which is psychedelic honey. It didn't work for us, so we worked with Harry, or maybe did, I don't know, but we were just drawing.
You just ate it and...
Yeah, but then in the evening when we kind of run out of ideas, we went for a beer, and we love Estonian beer, Pohjala, Puhjaste, very good beers, but we went to our breweries, and then we had a beer, and then, hey, but I got this idea, and then we again started to work on something. And that was super intense period, but we started every day sober, but ended up with some beers. So Harry's put this beer recipe in.
Yes, but Lars is telling an intellectual thing. Actually, in his bathroom, whenever I go there, it's like a brewery because he has a lot of kegs, and it all smells of wild yeast coming over and brewing. And did we ever try exactly that recipe? Probably not, because nobody knows what really Lars is brewing in his bathroom.
And in Riga you can get now beer called Dog of God.
Yeah. We made with Lobby at this beer. We wanted to bring it here. We will have an after party if you want to chat with us in your nice place, Kocht, 65 meters from here. If someone wants to have a
65?
Meters.
600.
Yeah, okay.
Not so close.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we're gonna go there for after parties. It's Monday, I know, but if someone wants to have a beer, we can go there. We wanted to bring
It's
this.
always good day, good time to take the day off for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe,
If you
no,
take,
maybe no mushrooms, but
if you take, if you don't go to work tomorrow, you have one free day.
Dog of God, these were the filmmakers. Thank you for